Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Corky's World channel. I'm Corky, as always, and as you can see, I'm on the road right now. But that's not important. What is important is today, we're gonna do something very different. Now, when I first started this channel, the idea was that I was gonna do a whole bunch of things. I was gonna do video games, I was gonna talk about movies, I was gonna talk about comics, I was gonna do cooking episodes, and something's happened where I'm gonna be by myself for a little while, and I thought, to keep myself from slipping into total insanity while I'm just at home with Leo and Shinx and Glammeow, I thought we'd actually start doing cooking videos, which is just a totally foreign concept to me. Granted, I've watched enough cooking shows and videos on YouTube to get the gist, but it'll just be me running it off of this phone that you see right now, or don't see, but I'm filming with. So, I thought the fun idea would be if I took some of my favorite chefs' food items and recreated them myself right here on the channel. So that's what we're going to be doing, and today we're going to be starting with Matty Matheson's chicken and dumplings. So, first thing we're going to need to do is get home and get ingredients. So, and here we are. Back in the messy Corky kitchen with more or less everything we're gonna need for this video. But this is pretty poor organization, so why don't we take a second and use a little movie magic to set up a little better mise en place. 1, 2, 3. And here we are. So I'd rather not say just how long that took me to get this all set up. But what we're gonna do is a quick rundown of ingredients, and then we're gonna start preparing. So, first and foremost, we're gonna need chicken. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna put this recipe in the comments down below, or in the description of the video, as well as the link to the actual Matty Matheson video itself. So that being said, here we go. Chicken, about 4/4 worth, which is thigh and leg, so 4 thigh, 4 leg. We're gonna need olive oil to fry it in. This is chicken broth. We're going to use that in the base of the soup. Buttermilk, flour, baking soda, and butter itself for the dumplings. This is a white wine, which we're going to use in the stew base. We got sour cream, which is going into the biscuits or the dumplings. Dijon mustard will be in the base of the stew. There's Shinx. And over here we have all of our produce, essentially. We have celery, that's gonna be oh, look how dirty the kitchen is. Fuck me, Freddy. Celery, that's a rough chop. We have onions, that's a rough dice. We have, now, in Matty Matheson's recipe, he uses button mushrooms. I found baby portobello because I think they're gonna make the flavor pop a little more. So, baby portobello mushrooms. Parsley, shallot, and lemon juice are gonna be folded together into a topping. Carrot goes in the stew. These green onions are gonna go into the dumplings to give them a little extra crunch. That's chopped fresh thyme, which we're gonna put into the stew itself. Oh, and then obviously kosher salt and fresh cracked pepper. Always, always fresh cracked pepper. I cannot stress that enough, as do most current TV chefs. So that's everything we need. So now we're gonna start assembly, and we'll see how all of this goes. So here we go. All right. Sorry if the camera's shaky. Sorry if my audio's terrible, but this is a learning experience. So first thing we're gonna do, biggest pot you got on medium-high heat, and we're gonna add some olive oil to the pan. Yeah, that probably looks good. And we're gonna let that heat up for a sec. And then once it's heated up, we shall take our chicken. Hope no one's motion sick. And we will add that to the pan. So let's let that heat up a sec, I guess. All right, oil should be hot enough. Let's take a peek. Yeah. All right, we're gonna lower this down into the pot. Oh shit. I used some big fucking pieces. Probably don't need the fat. We're gonna cook this for about 10 minutes. Hopefully you're using a bigger pot or less chicken. I'm gonna cook it for a little longer than I should probably, just to make sure everything browns completely. So here we go. So now let's make the dumplings. We're gonna take our flour. Oof, hope I got a big enough bowl. Our baking soda. Pinch of salt. 2's good. And then we're gonna add some green onions, like I said, for a little crunch. And then we're gonna just combine that shit. I did not think mixing shit through. And so, snap fingers, we're gonna add the melted butter, buttermilk, sour cream, and it should be good. And go. And this is more or less what your dough should look like once you combine flour, baking soda, salt, oh my god, cats. Salt, green onions, sour cream, buttermilk, and melted butter. So what Matty did was form these into quenelles, which is a French technique where you use 2 spoons to essentially make football-shaped, like dough, biscuit, potato sort of things. I don't think I want to do that. I think we're gonna do balls, something more ballish than that. So, one more snap cut, and there we go, mini dumpling balls. So now I'm going to put these in the fridge so they can rest and they won't get all gross and room temperature while we continue to brown this chicken that I put in far too small a pot. I wonder if I should use the water. Anyway, we'll be back when this chicken is browned up enough and we can move on to the next step. Alright, now that the chicken is browned more or less, we're going to add some stuff. So first, essentially 1 stalk of celery, 2 carrots, and the equivalent of 1 onion. And now we're going to let these cook until they're a little translucent, until they soften a bit, and then we're going to continue onward. So we'll be back when those are good. And we're back. As you can see, the veggies have softened and gone down a bit, so now we're going to take our Dijon mustard and squirt about 3 tablespoons into this well we created in the middle. That was probably way more than 3 tablespoons, but whatever. And now we're going to mix that in horribly with 1 hand. Oh my god, I didn't think this shit through at all. I'm just creating chaos and discomfort. Alright, now that I stirred that a bit, we're going to take, oh actually, just edit this part. Edit. Alright. Okay, now we're going to take our white wine. Yes, this smells good. And we're going to add about a cup. More or less. I haven't measured anything. Now we're going to stir this up, and we're going to let this reduce to about half of what the liquid is right now. And then when we come back, we'll add the chicken stock and the thyme and the mushrooms, and then we'll let it come to a boil. So we'll be back for that part. Alright, now that this is reduced by about half and is now a thick, sludgy, mustardy stew, we're going to take our chicken broth and add 1 liter, which for me is about a third of this thing. Yeah, it's about a third. We're also going to add our thyme. Not all of this. That'd be an insane amount. It's supposed to be 1 tablespoon worth. That's more or less 1 tablespoon. And then the last thing we need to add is add a little more broth. Is the mushrooms. So like, yeah, it's good. Now we're gonna give this a stir and let it come back up to boil. And then once it gets to boil, we're gonna reduce it to simmer, and then soon we're going to add the dumplings. So that will be the next step that you see after this gets to a boil and we reduce the simmer. Alright, now that the stew is at a boil, we're going to turn it down to a simmer, and we are going to add our dumpling balls. Oh, I wish I would have put a glove on. Anyway, we're just gonna slowly, one by one, drop these into the stew. Careful not to splash yourself. Or, you know, your entire kitchen, since that seems to be what I want to do. Okay, now we are going to take our lid that's the right size. We are going to set it on, and we're not going to touch it for 20 minutes. And then hopefully by the end of 20 minutes, it'll be all ready and good to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the timer for the dumplings is about to go off. So before we do that, we're going to make Matty Matheson's garnish for this dish, which is a parsley shallot salad. So what we're gonna do is, with our handy dandy little bowl right here, we're gonna take some parsley. Granted, flat leaf would have been better, but this was all my grocery store had. My grocery store let me down in a major way. Leek was supposed to be in this recipe as well, but they didn't have that either. So this is lemon juice, just a drizzle of that. Some shallot, as thinly sliced as possible. Even mandolin would have been good. And then we'll just give that a little toss, and we're gonna top the dumplings with that. So there is that little, I'm gonna add a little more shallot actually. Give it a good toss. Some salt and pepper probably be good too, but doing this one-handed, that'll have to do. So let's take a look. I've got my bowl right here. Let's take a look. This will be the reveal. And oh wow! Guys, I had very little faith in this dish. That looks a lot better than I was expecting it to be. So we're gonna take off my glove and we're gonna dip some of this up, and then we'll have one more final shot with the reveal, and then that'll be the episode. And there you go, guys. There's a plated up bowl. So we're gonna take some of our little parsley salad. We're gonna just pop that right there. And that's it. And guys, we made Matty Matheson's chicken and dumplings recipe, more or less. So hey, I'm never gonna know where to look at the camera. So guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing if you did. This is a really fun series idea. We're gonna call this Corky's Copycat Kitchen, and I'll put some words right there for you guys to remember it. Don't forget, I'm gonna have the recipe for this and the link to the original Matty Matheson video in the comments down below. So please, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know how I did. I'm sure the camera work is lacking. I'm sure the writing could use a little work. But this was fun, and I plan on doing several more of these. So if you have any suggestions for cooking videos, either from past TV shows or from your favorite YouTube chefs, please drop them in the comments down below, and I'll make sure to look over them, and maybe I'll pick one of yours. Guys, always, always, always remember to be good to yourself, be good to each other, and I will see you in the next episode. Later days!